All right, it looks like we're getting ready to jump into winners finals here. We're going to start on Battlefield. I think we talked earlier about the fact that both these characters have a disgusting chain grab on each other. Any other like important things to point out in the matchup here as we get started?
Yeah, Sheik can crouch under everything. So that's like I feel like the biggest thing that makes this matchup like it goes from like, all right, Sheik has a chain grab. Oh, but they both have chain grab, so maybe it's okay. She can crouch under everything. Then it's over. Like that's it, you know? Like so we'll see how much that comes into play, or if they kind of end up playing air to air a lot so far. So
yeah, JSalt moving around on those platforms, tricking NoFluxes into going for a get up attack and punishing it hard, but not closing it out. And the reversal is good.
Yeah,
the reversal back.
Pretty tricky recovery here. Oh, and the up air is going to catch a jump way off stage there. NoFluxes eats up 158%, tanks all of it, and takes the first stock. What is going on? That almost looked intentional because he like, started jabbing immediately, but maybe he's just trying to make the best of it. Yeah, he's just trying to make the best of the situation. I think it was a mistake, and then he's just like trying to defend himself.
Yeah, it's like, well, I mean, I am Zelda now. That's what we're dealing with. How do we fix this?
Yeah, all right. I mean, Zelda has kill moves, you know, so maybe he's like in his head, he's like, Zelda has kill moves, and then he gets hit, and he's like, no, go back.
He's sitting there like, what would Dreffen do? Never mind, I don't care what Dreffen would do. Get me out. That's true. Dreffen is insane, man. All right. Anyway, NoFlux is able to close out the stock here. Once again, these up airs off stage seem to be giving JSalt quite a bit of trouble. So 3 stocks to 2, but keep in mind that there was some Zelda shenanigans in there.
Yep, I think Ganon has a really good edge guard flowchart against Sheik. Anyone that has like a strong punish on up B on stage ends up being a good character at edge guarding Sheik, because if Sheik can just go on stage and tank whatever you're going to do to her, it's really hard to edge guard her. But Ganon, you never want to just tank a Ganon hit, right? Like that's not. I don't want to just tank a stomp or something. And yeah, at higher percents it only gets worse. So Ganon right now is punishing really hard and kind of showing how to keep it even.
Yeah, and more than even, right? NoFlux is basically up a full stock. I mean, there were some shenanigans in this game, but to be this far ahead has got to feel pretty good right now.
Yep, and this is a big thing with anyone who's fighting Ganon. The moment you start getting antsy, the matchup starts getting pretty hard, right? And like falling behind an entire stock is an easy way to like justify feeling antsy, right? Telling you, oh, maybe I should try running in and closing out the stock, and then you run into it. That being said, JSalt seems to be playing a pretty controlled game here and making a comeback slowly but surely.
Yeah, a lot of early aerials like the nair, the full hop instant nair that get drifted back, and because Ganon doesn't have the greatest movement options, it's really hard for him to punish that, especially if he caught the startup of the nair on his shield. That drift back feels like really safe.
Oh, that up air actually kills the platform tech chase. And 44% is not too bad. See if JSalt can survive the invincibility here. Ganon has been getting a lot of mileage this whole tournament. Every invincibility.
Yeah, and you say Ganon, there's only one out there, so I'm wondering, is that the character, or is that NoFlux just making really good use of the tool?
There actually literally was a Ganon Ditto around 1.
Wait, really?
On cow.
Okay, I didn't see that. Doesn't count. You didn't see it either. Rude. As we joke about that.
But yeah, it was on stream.
As we joke about that, JFlex is able to force an edge guard and find the needles to close out that first game. The needles feel like a pretty good answer to Ganon. Oftentimes he likes to sort of down B to get the double jump up B back onto stage. But if you can sort of have that diagonally downward hitbox from the needles, that's going to be really tough, and it sort of cuts off a lot of his options.
Yeah, so some characters like have to go out there and just challenge it outright, and it's like a little bit scary to do it, even though you can just like get consistent at it. Like you have to learn to like beat it, you know? Sheik just throws a needle and doesn't even really need more, you know? Like sometimes it's like, yeah, you can needle it, but it'd be better to just forward air him. But actually the needles kill also, so it's just fine.
All right, so game 1 is over. It does go to JFlex, but it was pretty tricky there for a minute. We did see a Zelda transform, so hopefully we'll avoid some of that stuff this time around. But JFlex able to close it out anyway. I hope we see more. And it's JSalt, not JFlex. These Jers. It's JSalt versus NoFluxes. Like, come on, that's they're memeing me.
We have a big problem with letters here as commentators. It's not really our strong suit. So.
Ooh, JSalt gets up there with that double jump fair, forcing NoFluxes back off the stage.
Forward air this time. Damn. The angle wasn't quite there for the needle, right? So he had to go down there to forward air the down B and just get it.
Very clean. Both of these players just absolutely dominating each other when they can get the other off stage, and that's been a huge part of this matchup. Whoever gets the other off stage first just wins.
Ganon, he has like a good CC in terms of he can do it for a long time, but bad CC options. So sometimes you'll see him like tank hits and never quite find the reversal, right? And the other thing is like sometimes he just ends up playing in the air because he doesn't have those good CC options. So the low percents don't end up being that threatening for Sheik. She just ends up kind of slapping him over and over again, right? And not really scared of like a counter hit reversal in the air or even so. JSalt extending his lead more and more right now.
Yeah, and you gotta, you know, in a lot of cases when you've got sort of CC back and forth, what do both players do, right? They both crouch in front of each other and sort of trade hits. But with Sheik ducking under everything with the crouch, it feels so bad for Ganon, right?
Yeah, she'll like down tilt and he'll CC forward tilt and then it'll just whiff. And you're like, man.
Come on!
CC jab. Oh, dude. JSalt looks really ready for these. It doesn't look like... oh my god, going for the needle grab. Actually a swag option there. I'm pretty sure an aerial would have killed too. That was way cooler.
And all of a sudden, 4 stocks to 1. This was supposed to be Ganon's counterpick. We saw NoFluxes make great use of Yoshi's story and being able to cover the whole stage earlier in the bracket against Mad Tyro, but this time around, doesn't seem to be playing out in his favor at all.
Yeah, and this stock we've finally seen some CC interactions. You got one CC jab and then one CC down tilt, and neither of them led to anything, right? So this is the other problem is even when your moves do hit, those aren't the moves you want to be hitting, right? Like Ganon wants to be hitting stomps and forward airs and back airs, and when you're forced to play the CC game because the character's faster than you kind of end up not being allowed to use your good moves. And
next time in Why Ganon's a Mid-Tier, we'll talk a little bit more about how his aerials don't really link into very much early either.
Yeah, Stomp's the one. She gotta land a Stomp. Oh, there's a Stomp! Into an execution error, unfortunate. Sheik off stage, going for the run-off forward air, doesn't quite get it. Don't mind the gamble, though. If you hit that, you kind of get momentum, you get a last stock situation, you're back in there. Sheik ready, though, for the reversal, and JSalt takes game 2.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for game 2 there. JSalt goes up 2-0 against NoFluxes. Do we go back to Yoshi's after that?
No flux. Yep, we go back to Yoshi's, I think.
Yeah. I think it makes sense. It is still, you know, the best Ganon has to offer. We talked a little bit about how strong the CC is feeling for Sheik, but we also talked about the importance of Dare to Ganon and how you know that move sort of really destroys CC pretty effectively and very, very early. So I do want to see that interaction a bit more out of NoFluxes, is getting on top of the CC with a Dare, but that's just so hard to do, right? The Stomp just takes such a long time to come out. So
Stomp is just like reactively shieldable at the very least, right? So it's kind of like what Puff does against Falcon or something. She'll just crouch, and if Falcon tries to stomp it, she shields, and that's all you have that beats it. So that's all you have to look out for, right? So at the same time, it's like you kind of want to jump, and then if you try to jump and you try to use one of your slow aerials, Sheik's aerials are faster, so she just hits you out of the air too, and JSalt right there getting a ton of damage and leading all the way to an edge guard, but maybe he can answer right back here. Not quite.
Ooh, the use of the up B invincibility to get around the up air was really clean by JSalt. I don't know if NoFluxes could have timed his aerial a little better, but he's able to force out the edge guard anyway and keep it perfectly even, 3 stocks apiece.
Finding some tricky wavelines here, but not able to kind of push the stage forward until he finds a forward air. Is that enough to kind of take a bunch of damage? And controlled? Nah, Sheik's tilts. They're kind of going back and forth right now.
Yeah, and these double jump mix-ups seem to be the only thing that is getting NoFluxes anything to work with here. But JSalt seems to be playing a little bit more conservatively around those and looking for the end lag after the double jump, after the aerial. That's where he finds this up air and takes a stock.
Finding the needle edge guard too, giving no chance to even tech or anything. Now he's going to try to milk his lead. The air to air is just so powerful. Sheik's her aerials all come out in like 3 frames. I think Ganon's forward air and down air come out in like 30, you know?
Okay, so 2 stocks apiece. NoFluxes continues to find the big hits to force it to stay pretty even, but oh man, look at these combos. Yeah, even when you drift out to avoid the fair, you just can't get back to ledge in time. 2 stocks to 1.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that fair was appropriately placed, right? Like, in order to avoid the forward air, you had to be 2 stocks to go. So, JSalt with a really clean edge guard there. NoFluxes keeping himself in there off the back of a really strong punish game, and once again, great use of invincibility. Every time he comes down, it feels really hard for the opponents to kind of avoid him for the entirety of the 3 seconds or whatever it is. And JSalt looking to close it out right